Welcome back to the 80 Proof Podcast. After a full month of hiatus, we have returned and we have a special guest in ZiggyD from ZiggyD Starcraft. Feel free to say hello.
There's a guest in me? Ah!
I think
G'day,
so.
guys.
I mean, you're a guest and you're in you, technically. And
Yes,
Nick is
I'm
here.
here. Thank you for having me on.
Nick, as usual, has returned.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Aaron is here. He has made a return.
Only in body.
In body, not in mind. And John.
I'm pretty sure I'm not here, but I'll do my best.
He has a YouTube channel. Check it out. He's got a video.
I have one total video.
I also have a YouTube channel which you can go to. It'll be an annotation on the screen. It's
Right
the thing you
now,
do
it's
is
so
go to
big.
it and hit the button that says subscribe and it will make me happy. And then you'll unsubscribe and I won't be happy anymore. So I'll post something and you'll watch it and you'll be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Of the people that I know that have unsubscriptions in their history, Nick gets the saddest. So please, don't make Nick sad. Make him happy. I beg you.
Nick, I'm gonna go unsubscribe to your channel right now.
If you actually do, yeah,
Oh.
I will have legitimate feels about it.
He will have feels, all the feels. Happiness, sadness, anger, destruction.
It's okay, Nick. We still love you.
That's not true.
Oh, well, I still love you. Weasel loves no one because he is a dark soul filled with hate.
Oh, I can't wait to put out the Terraria hardcore that we were doing because, like, I took that role. I was the guy who had seen too much and was just too depressed over everything to express anything. I just had no feels. Anytime anyone dies, I was like, I never liked him anyway.
When is that happening?
He was clearly a shithead.
When is that going on the internet?
I don't know. As soon as I fucking finish it.
Are you making that?
I have a plan.
I
But
thought Super Samicon was making it.
we're all doing. I mean, like, I'm doing my own video because I asked specifically for permission to do my own video. But he's
You're a
definitely
bastard.
doing his own video.
You're a bastard, Nathan. You are literally a bastard.
I decided to do it in such a way that it would be completely different from the way that anybody else would do the video. You'll see. You'll see. No spoilers. But over the last month, let's talk. Let's talk what we have been doing in the last actually 2 months because we didn't do a video last month because I am an asshole and fucked up everything.
That is
Yeah,
true.
My
Do you want
the
me to
last-
report this as well?
And for those of the who weren't here, the last podcast was actually on my birthday, and of course Weasel had to fuck that shit up for my birthday.
But guess what? It doesn't matter because my birthday's tomorrow and we're celebrating it today. Do you know why? Because somebody on this podcast
Is in
has
tomorrow.
a time zone in which it is currently my birthday.
Happy birthday from tomorrow, the future, today.
What's the quote from Futurama? Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
That's the one. I was going for that one.
That's awesome. So, ZiggyD, because you are the guest, I'll let you go first. What have you been doing over the past month/2 months? I mean, I know, but I won't spoil it.
Well, last month was pretty stagnant. I was mostly doing the Path of Exile thing. I extensively cover Path of Exile on my YouTube channel. That's pretty much what I do full time. But the game's kind of flattened out a little bit now, I guess, in interest. And there was really no other games coming out last month, so I pretty much had nothing to do, at least not in my niche. Like, there's always the AAA games and stuff like that coming out, but I tend not to get into those too much. But this month, so far, already, just in the couple of days this month's been existing for Neverwinter, the MMO has released, which I've been playing around with, and also I've tried out Marvel Heroes, and there's also another upcoming RPG in Grim Dawn, so I've had plenty to cover and plenty to look at and plenty to play.
What is Grim Dawn? I've never even heard of it.
Grim Dawn is the spiritual successor to Titan Quest, and it's from a few of the developers of Titan Quest, and it's even based in the same engine, I believe, so anyone who's a fan of Titan Quest should be looking forward to it. It's been in development a long time, and they sort of keep pushing back the alpha release, but there's good feelings about that the alpha will be coming out very soon.
I hate it when they push back, like, the early... Because it says to me immediately in my subconscious brain that there must be something wrong with it, and I know that there's probably not.
There's probably heaps of
Logically.
things wrong with it, man. It's like pre-alpha.
Yeah, good
It's probably,
point.
it's probably just like so rubbish that they can't release it yet. But that's fine. Like as long as the ideas are solid and they got something to work off, then I'm happy.
The idea is that the longer
Like your
that a developer waits, the further behind graphically they are, and the further behind graphically they are, the smaller of a community they can hope to get. Because even though I'm not a person who is interested in graphics, I know that a lot of people are. So that that group of people that isn't interested in graphics won't play, and then the community will be smaller, and they'll make less money, and they'll have less updates because they have less money, and it'll be a worse product for my interests.
See, I was
Which
going
is
to disagree with you,
mechanics.
but I actually kind of do agree with you because you are limiting your community somewhat. But then again, the action RPG community isn't too focused on graphics. Overall, action RPGs in general look fairly simple as long as you can make sense of what's going on and it's satisfying, the combat satisfying to look at and stuff like that. Then it could be okay. And because it's sort of an indie game as well, there's a bit of allowance extra for outdated graphics.
You
I
make
think
a
we'll
good
look
point.
at it when it comes out. But yeah.
So Nick, what have you been up to, buddy?
I've been playing Zelda because of this podcast. We were last.
It was
in
entirely
case-
my fault.
In case anybody doesn't know, we've been doing monthly games that we need to look at. And the first one was Zelda, and I was playing, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I should do a review on this. So then I did, and then now it's a thing that I'm reviewing every single Zelda game ever made, which is probably a dumb idea, but I'm doing it anyway.
Oh,
Actually,
what have I
I have
made?
enjoyed a couple of your videos there, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of which, ZiggyD, me and John have become like sort of, I wouldn't say fans exactly, but we've totally subscribed and watched all of your videos that have been made since about Path of Exile. Like,
Well,
your
thank
Path
you.
of
I
Exiles
appreciate
have
that.
been very useful to the two of us. In particular, the videos about farming and about where to farm and like how to decide what things are worth. I've watched quite a bit. It's because that's confusing shit to me. Like no gold, okay, so I've got to figure out what everything's worth as far as like currency items. That shit is confusing to newer players, and I have become quite the fan of the ledge because of your videos.
I enjoy the ledge too, but that was my point with those because it is a game that can be fairly confusing because of some of the systems in it, and there's no like actual really built-in tutorial system in the game. So I was trying to make it a bit easier to get into for people. So I'm happy if I've achieved that for a few people like yourself.
And then John found another guy who is first place in all of the fucking events. That dick. What's his
I
name?
found a guy by just watching videos and listening to people talk. His name is Kriparian.
Yes, Kriparian is the largest streamer in Path of
Yeah.
Exile, without
Actually,
question.
I don't care for his videos very much. He's not a very he's well enough spoken, but he's not clear. Like he doesn't write well enough to be clear on his points.
He does a one take style, which I can appreciate as a thing, and I also enjoy because he's got such intense game knowledge as well. But yeah, I do get people mentioning on my YouTube channel that they prefer either my stuff or his stuff for various reasons. Either they prefer more prepared content, like more scripted content like my stuff, or they prefer more like off the cuff sort of commentary and thoughts like Riparian. So I think there's a good market for either of those sorts of content. I enjoy both. I enjoy my videos and his videos.
I definitely watch both of them. Each has their value, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So
I
Aaron,
just watch ZiggyD because I don't know who you're talking about apart from you.
this is the only name I know of. That's the name I like best. It has the right number of syllables. It's perfect.
I mean, it's ZiggyD. It's just such a nice rounded name. How can you not watch that channel?
Nick, you are my
ZiggyD,
favorite.
it does roll off the tongue.
It
roll off the
does.
So Aaron, what have you been up to for the past
Uh,
2 months?
2 months.
It's a big
well,
number of months.
I have been playing, of course, my normal free-to-plays. I have been more active in League of Legends, which I am excited about. Looking forward to playing with you guys on a more regular basis again. That would
There
make
is
me
a
happy.
whole story that everyone is missing here. Aaron, back in early beta of League of Legends, Aaron and I, it was pretty much just me and Aaron at first. We started playing League of Legends, and it was back before any meta even existed. There was no bot, middle, top lane, crazy ass meta where you were like, okay, you want an AP in the middle, and you want it. We did shit like, I did super tanky Taric mid. That was OP as fuck back in those days. And
Nobody had even heard of a jungler.
nobody knew what a jungler even was.
Well,
It
we
was
started
too top,
playing
too bot.
before even Warwick was ever released. I mean, we started playing before that character.
Yeah,
That's how old. That's
how OG we are.
yeah. There were only like 7 heroes. You were playing against the same people all the time.
That may be an exaggeration, the number 7, but yeah, it was real early. And then
Yeah.
meta started to exist, and Aaron likes to like do whatever the fuck he wants. He likes to create the new meta, you know what I mean? And so as soon as the like official this is what you have to play in these lanes sort of thing started coming up, he was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing in other games. And we finally started sort of weaving him in. We started pulling him in to the gravitational force of black hole that is League of Legends.
Well, the one of the things, about League of Legends for me, I mean, the story of the in and out of League of Legends of me, you, and John, because the 3 of us, once we got John playing League of Legends, it has been the 3 of us and whoever else we could pull in. I mean, the cycle of which one of us was the most like passionate about actually like let's be good at League of Legends changed hands several times, but eventually it really got to that point where I was just like I wanted to go and I just wanted to sit around and have fun, and bot games aren't fun. They're literally just the cheap way to get your first win really fast if you only have a couple of minutes, or to figure out the combos of a new hero. That's like I see the only purpose in those things. They aren't really all that enjoyable. It's just kind of like I win. But it got to the point where I had to be competitive. I had to actually I had to think about everything that I was doing, and I had to be I had to try hard. And I got tired of it. I just wanted to go and I just wanted to play a game and relax and have a good time. And League of Legends stopped being that. It was being more like work. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I have my other releases other places, and I can actually go like, okay, I want to be competitive at this game now. Let's go have some fun and actually work on actually being good at a game. And so that's why I'm excited about being back into that. I have been a tournament player in other games before. Mostly, well, actually, singularly the first-person shooters, but I'm happy about trying to be competitive in that game. And then, other game I've been playing, which I mentioned in the failed podcast of last month.
I'm so sorry, everybody. It's my fault.
But for most of the people in this room, I'm sure. I have actually been playing Skyrim for the last month.
Somebody else collab with me so I don't feel like a lone nut.
Well, you see, the thing is like, most people that hear this are going to go, yeah, great, everybody plays that game. Or is finished playing that game. Yeah, I never started because I didn't like this. I never liked its predecessors. I would play the game for like 4 hours, and then I would never play it again because I didn't like it all that much. I was like, all right, this is cool. I can do whatever I want. And then I'm
Can
like,
I put some context on this?
boring.
Aaron's favorite game of all time is Devil May Cry. He likes really stylish. He wants to see the flourish. He wants to see all of the fancy sparkles that come along with the combat. To step down from combat into a Skyrim environment is immense. It's a very important step.
Well, the combat in Skyrim isn't particularly compelling, so that would be a bit of an adjustment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. It's the combat type scenario is not that great in an Elder Scrolls game. It's just not. No matter how much they put into it, it's never going to be like pretty Devil May Cry level stuff. It's
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
which to be fair to me, it's not like I expected, that quality of combat. I hated combat so much in the previous incarnations of the whatever installments of the Elder Scrolls series, that it drove me out of the game. This one is actually smooth enough that I can play it and not feel like I want to gouge my eyes out. So
You want me to do it for you? I'll gouge your eyes out. Yeah.
so I have actually been playing Skyrim. I did finally give it a chance, and I am playing it. I've been really busy with lots of other things, and I made a trip up to visit John recently for his birthday as well. I haven't had as much
We haven't even
time.
talked about my birthday yet.
Yes, we have.
Spoiler
You
warning.
mentioned-
We have.
Yeah.
Hey.
We've talked.
Yeah, we have.
It's like one of the first things we mentioned.
Fine. Back off. I still can't do it. Nick, could you handle this for me, please?
I need
Oh,
to like
fuck.
be quiet because like my windows are open and it's night time. But fuck off.
There
On
we
that.
go. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
That was perfect. I like it. But yeah, that's more or less what I've also been playing Borderlands 2 again because they did some DLC for that, and my roommate downloaded it. And hey, Borderlands 2 is stupid fun.
It's entirely the narrative. The narrative of that game is so amazing.
Oh, and of course, because it was John's pick last month, I have been playing Free Orion. I don't know if anybody else has been doing that.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, never mind. I'll leave that for later then.
It comes exactly after the this segment that we're in right now.
Okay.
I've also been playing Metal Gear Solid and I really like it.
I would mentally high five you, except that I have to do it physically. So physical high five. Yeah,
I
yeah.
hit my computer.
That sounded awkward.
I high fived my microphone, so there was some sound involved. It was adequate. Thank you, sir.
Well, you two,
humoring
one of
me.
these people is in Florida, the other one is in England, and then there's another guy somewhere in Australia, and John and I we hang out in the Rocky Mountains.
I wish I was in the Rocky Mountains with you, buddy. That is a great place to live. So, John, what have you been up to in the last 2 months?
I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile, a lot of League of Legends. I played some Free Orion. I enjoyed it very much. It was exactly the way I remembered it. I don't think I won a single game. I think I lost terribly every time.
That's right. You don't want to win in that game.
It's hard. It's straight up hard unless you already know how to play. And there's no tutorial, it just throws you into it, so that's the way the games were back then. I don't think I've started racing in Path of Exile.
Are you racing in Path of Exile right now?
No.
I hear a lot
I-
of clicks.
I am just running around, but
And you're in Path of Exile.
it's entirely possible.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
But that's basically all I've been doing is League of Legends and Path of Exile. So
You can't get him to stop. You can't make him stop. Path of Exile, it's just a thing. It's a force of nature.
what
It
can I
is
say?
like
I've got
a
characters to build.
whirlwind. It is like a hurricane. It strikes you and it will not let you go. It sucks you into the center. And you're like, I gotta know more information. You gotta know all of the shit that leads in to the wind that brings you into the center. But it won't let you go. It'll never let you go. Is that
That
it,
was
John?
beautiful.
Is that all you've done?
I just downloaded Don't Starve today.
It's good.
It's a lot of fun.
It's quite
Yeah.
good. And since that's all you've been doing, that leaves it up to me. It brings it all the way back to me. Like a circle. Like a yin and yang. Comes back to me. Always. So, I have been playing Path of Exile quite a lot. Quite a lot. I want to get enough points to get a bow in the event circuit. The second bow, the one that costs like a bajillion points, like 250 or something. I've got like 3 points-ish, approximately. Because I can't survive long enough. I go into this one zone of Path of Exile, and it murders me every goddamn time. The underwater zone with all of the fucking ice elementals that freeze you solid, and you're like, oh, god damn it, I'm stuck. And
Lower submerged passage.
Lower submerged passage. The most recent time I did it in the, I think it's Frenzy or something. The modifier that makes it so that they move faster and attack faster. So you can't run away from anything. You try and just walk through a zone, and they're like, no, fuck you, I will keep up with you, and I will attack fast enough that you have no chance to survive, make your time. Ha ha ha. But apart from Path of Exile, I've also been playing a lot of League of Legends. I would like to finally exceed my skill level and get into, I don't know, Gold League, maybe? My skill level is approximately Silver League, but I would like to get into Gold League. That would be fantastic, which is not a huge achievement. Gold League is like, you're about average. Silver League is like, you're kind of shit. And Bronze League is like, yeah, you're completely shit. So I'm trying to get into, you're about above shit.
If it's anything like Starcraft 2, breaking out of the lower leagues can be one of the hardest experiences.
It's because there's so much randomization. It's because the same as Starcraft 2. I used to play a lot of Starcraft 2, and because you didn't know what to expect from people, it was very difficult to do a build that was effective. I mean, scouting in Starcraft 2 was what made you the above average player. If you scouted and you figured out what they were building, and then you knew from what they had what they were going to do, and then you countered that, that was how you were decent. I wasn't decent at Starcraft 2. I am at least decent in League of Legends, but it's a lot harder to... You can't, like, see what they're doing and do a counter build. You can pick at the very beginning something that counters well the other person's team, but that's not really what I'm aiming for in League of Legends right now. League of Legends, I'm doing something fucking stupid. John, can you help me out here? In my fucking stupid? In my fucking stupid.
I don't think it's that stupid. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm playing Anivia in support. Now, Anivia is traditionally a mid player that is not particularly good in mid. Anivia has this passive that is the only thing that makes Anivia worthwhile, in which when Anivia dies, she sort of turns into an egg, and she will respawn with more or less full health and full mana if she isn't murdered while an egg. But she has reduced magic resist and armor while she's in the egg form, so you can just walk over and fucking murder the shit out of her. But if you play her as support, which is what I do, you have an AD character who will protect you while you're an egg. So you can do all of this aggressive stuff that most people can't do, most supports can't do, while still having the CC of normal supports. You still got all the shit that you have to be a support. Anyway, it's pretty good. It's reasonable. I think it's going to be good in the long run. We haven't tested it quite enough to know. We've tested it enough to be able to play it in ranked, but not enough to know if it's going to be good in ranked. It's some good shit. It's good shit.
Is that going to be a video that we're going to see on Monday?
It's going to be a video that you one day see on Monday when I'm 100% solid in my opinion on it as a Meta Monday video. Thank you for leading into an advertisement. I'll just go ahead and do an advertisement in my shit.
Shameless advertisements.
I've also been trying to play some Skyrim. I played a little bit of Skyrim. I want to finish that game. I keep saying that I want to finish that game, and yet I modify my Skyrim files so often because I play it on PC, so I can just mod that shit to make it a completely new game every single month. But I want to beat that game. It's a game that I would really like to beat.
And you are notoriously a character creating whore.
I am. That is totally true. I make
I'm
so
down
many
with that.
characters. In the context of Path of Exile, God, I've made so many characters. But I want to advise anyone who wants to play Path of Exile, pick a class that you think you're going to play consistently. Do your research. Pick a class that the starting position you like, and keep doing that. Because when you die on hardcore on that class, you're just going to want to play the same class again. You're not going to want to go, oh, I've learned all of this about this specific class. Let me go ahead and start a new class. No, that's not the way you want to do it. You'll want to start the same class again because you learned about that class. And then, you know, you'll go and you'll do this new path that you think is the best. And then if that path winds up dying, you're not going to go and say, oh, I've learned double the amount from before. Let me start this new class. No, you're going to start the same class again, but with the context of what you've learned. So definitely, when you start Path of Exile, start in the class that you want to stay at. From my
I disagree. I'm an alcoholic in Path of Exile as well. I enjoy finding synergies in new builds and things like that more so than I do refining old builds. I'll let other people do the hardcore grinding and refining. I'll just come up with the interesting stuff to begin with.
You know, he has a lot more experience in Path of Exile than I do.
Path of Exile is a game.
And you have not played it. You need to fucking play it.
I played it with you and John. What are you talking about?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. It was a good 5 minutes. I enjoyed it. That's
Weasel
what-
tried to convince me more than once that we had never played with you, Nick. I'm pretty sure that he was drunk enough that he didn't remember.
I actually physically did not remember the time that we played the first time.
Wow.
I don't have a whole
For
lot
those of you who may have missed out on the name of this channel, it is 80 Proof Gaming. We like to drink while we play video games.
This is true. And I was especially drunk the time that we played Path of Exile that one time. It was after the last monthly podcast in which I had drunk plenty. Anyways, so I've spent a lot of time on Path of Exile. I've spent a lot of time on League of Legends. That's the majority of the time that I've spent over the past 2 months. It really is. But I have played Free Orion because that was the game that John had after winning the previous contest, designated as our game of the month. It's been quite a bitch to play, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, I suppose I should apologize, but I don't really want to.
You don't have to. No. A game that's hard to play does not make it less relevant for game design. Free Orion is essentially the precursor to all real-time strategy games. It's hard. It's hard as all goddamn hell. It has no real visual quantifier. You just gotta fucking look at the data, the numbers, and figure out what's best. And I am no good at that. I tried. I thought I was good back in the Dizzy. I thought I was the best. And I'm not the best there ever was. And so my first attempt was met with complete failure.
Dude, my first game in this Orion game, whatever, I had about wiped out 2 of the, like, I played with three computer players, right? I just played it on the default settings that it gave me, and I had nearly killed off 2 of the other factions, but I hadn't seen the other one at all. And all of a sudden, he just showed up and wiped the board clean. Just like, it's like,
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna let you do all the work
He
here.
said,
and then
no,
I'm gonna
fuck you. You are dead.
yeah. It's like, oh, if this was actually a 4-person melee, that's so what would have happened.
Hey, what
Damn
race
it.
did you pick?
The first time I played George.
George is a race?
George is a race. It's,
What the fuck even is that?
It's a single sentient entity made up of centipedes, I think.
You
None
would
of the
pick the
individual units think for
centipedes, you-
themselves. The whole mind is based off of one.
I picked the crystal race, the race made out of crystals, because humans are fucking boring. But I picked the race out of crystals, and it started me right next to another planet I could take over. And so I took over that planet right off the bat. And I started like fucking producing non-sentient robot people, basically, because that was all I could do. I could make a base that could produce robots. And so I was like, fuck yeah, I'll make these robots, and they're really good at research. And I took over the research. I had all of the researches. And then I was like, I am the master of the universe. I had all the ships that couldn't be destroyed. I had the +3 to fucking offense and +1 to defense. I know you know what I'm talking about in this case, because you played it. So I had really tough ships, and I could take over anything in the universe. So I started offensively moving, but I couldn't move very far because you had to have a number of fuel to move a certain number of spaces. And then, so I went out and I started like move with my indestructible ships, and I came back and I moved and I came back, and I took the risk to totally send them out, even though I couldn't get them back to my home base, but I could totally be offensive. And then I destroyed a planet, and I had this really contested area, and then all of a sudden, completely out of nowhere, my planets at my home ships, at my home planets, my planets that had all the offense and defense because of my huge fleets got completely taken over, and I didn't realize it had happened. I mean, literally got obliterated in one turn, even though they had sent forces before and I had completely destroyed them. They, in one turn, completely destroyed both of my home planets. And then all of a sudden I couldn't do any research. I couldn't do any shit at all, because I had been completely destroyed. Like, both of the planets had been taken over by a hostile force. I didn't even realize it had happened until it was too late. It was nuts. It was nuts.
I'm gonna figure out how to cheese in this game, and I'm gonna make it work.
You're gonna fucking, like, do a proxy pylon and shit?
The worst
Yep.
part about this game, so the original game, Master of Orion, came out in 1993. Came out on the MS-DOS operating system. And I remember playing it over and over again, and it always went the same way. I was doing fine. I'd take over my little corner of the galaxy. I would maybe start beating the shit out of somebody. I would kill 1 or 2 races, and then I would just lose. In the span of 5 or 10 turns, I would just lose irrevocably. I would just start getting destroyed. Someone would come in with an unconquerable force and start clearing my board. So I understand where you're coming from, guys. It happened to me over and over and over again.
Has anyone ever beaten this kind of game?
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
beat it, but only on easy settings. Like, I would just reduce the
You sack of
difficulty.
shit. How dare you set your shit to easy?
I was a kid. It was 93. Seriously.
You're still a kid. I'll punch you in the face.
Nathan, you need to calm down. Don't get violent.
Don't get violent, Nathan. It's my birthday. I can
playing-
be as violent as I want to.
I'm playing
It's
Link
my
to the Past.
party. I can be as violent as I want to. Violent
Link to the
as
Past?
I want to.
Yeah, I'm just playing it right now.
I love how we usually, I mean, we never really talk about it, but most of us are doing something else while we do this. Like,
I never do.
Neither do
Aaron-
I. It's the first time, and that's why I've been so silent for this whole time. Because I'm just playing Link to the Past.
You disgust me.
I'm usually playing World of Tanks or
You're an
Blacklight
ass. You're
Retribution.
a fucking ass.
Today I'm actually playing Orion because it's
No, that's
entertaining.
fine. That's you're less of an
I
ass.
did not play that game. I probably should have. It was just sitting there on my desktop, and I never felt the need to click on it.
That's a perfectly irrelevant perspective, honestly. You may have gotten more out of the game than I did. having played the game a ton and been
Hold on,
disgusted
I'm
with
gonna
it.
I'm gonna stop playing Link to the Past because it's really hard to focus. Oh, there we go.
The game's
Not playing
hard.
it.
It's a hard game. I don't know if somebody smarter than me could win in the first few tries, but I sure tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed.
We talking about Masters of Orion or
The
Link to
game
Past?
that you linked.
Yeah, Free Orion. Okay. Which is basically a direct copy of Master of Orion.
Except shit.
No,
It's free.
yeah.
Yeah. They made a Masters of Orion 2 and Masters of Orion 3 with some funny name on it. It wasn't actually Masters of Orion 3, but I don't remember them being any different from the original. Just
The point is that
Terrible
they definitely
sequels.
did not set it in a way that's particularly intuitive.
no, they didn't. My choices were pretty limited for games back then, so I have some nostalgia when it comes to this one. Not that it's a bad game; it's a good game.
What do you feel the difference is? I mean, like, how intuitive do you have to be for a game to be good? I mean, you can make shit really, really difficult, and the people who are super intelligent will figure it out.
Or super stubborn.
Super stubborn. Actually, I'll go with that before the super intelligent.
Well, we can bring it back to Path of Exile. It's not an entirely intuitive system.
It's
It's
totally
fairly-
non-intuitive. Completely
Yeah,
non-intuitive.
it's fairly frustrating if you don't know what's going on. Good luck playing hardcore if no one has told you what to do. So,
That's been us the whole time.
and it seems to be fairly popular among people who like these kind of
I mean,
games.
it's a
At
good
least.
game, but how much do they have to tell you? Where's the line? Where's the line that you draw between intuitive and intelligent?
Well, Ziggy, how did you get started in Path of Exile? Did you just figure it out as you went?
Yeah, there wasn't really much like information out there about anything for Path of Exile. I started collating stuff, just from forum posts and things like that. But that's kind of what I do when I get into a new game. I am keen to research and read and watch as much as I can about it. So I guess I'm a bit of an expert information collector. So there's definitely no tutorial system in the game, though. The tutorial system is the first beach, basically. So you learn by experience that these zombies hit you, and then you should hit them first, and you can pick up this weapon and try and hit them. But beyond that, like creating your builds and all that sort of thing, it's a very complicated game and very unbeginner friendly.
Do you feel like the game would be worse off if they explained shit to you? If they were like, yeah, okay, if you go for more HP, you're going to be better off in the long run. To make it so that newer players would be less frustrated. Do you think that would be worse or better?
See, I'm not a big fan of hand-holding tutorials and things like that walk you through each step and tell you straight out things like that. And also, I think if the developers said you need a lot of HP to survive, then that could cause some issues with people not having very diverse builds or people not being willing to try other things. But I don't know. There can be clever suggestions in game about certain things, like I don't know, an NPC could mention something, or you can have little indicators. But when it comes to builds, I don't know how you can really incorporate that into the game in a way to make sense to players without just being
Let's go with a
hand-holding.
really extreme example. Let's say that in the actual talent tree itself, I call it the talent tree because I don't have a better name for it, the place with all of the nodes and the very elaborate spreadsheet nonsense of all of the spheres. Let's say that, for a stupid example, the health plus 8% nodes were highlighted in yellow, and the rest of the shit wasn't highlighted at all. Do you think the game would be worse off for it or better for it?
I don't think it would be worse off for it. It would be a funny thing to put into the game, but
It's completely
you know-
stupid. I know. I just
well, no, like I guess it could. You can, like I say, instead of just highlighting, you could make certain nodes more attractive and things like that. For example, the keystone nodes. People are very aware of the keystone nodes and what they do, and they are big, attractive nodes. Like they're stylish looking and they have cool descriptions and they have a big impact on your character. So people are very aware of them. Whereas HP nodes are like, are very small, and you can't see a very big direct impact each one that you get. So, making more feedback about that sort of thing can help with that sort of thing, I guess.
I
Yeah.
was impressed with the. Well, I think they only did it for a little while, but the build of the week videos that the developers put out, those
Yeah.
were very entertaining. I thought they were good ideas about how to build stuff. They weren't really things everybody could do because they were pretty high level, need tons of gear kind of things. But it made you interested in the game and it gave you good ideas about what to try. If they'd have continued that and done some more things like that, where there was a direct link, like on the launch page, to hey, this is our YouTube channel. We put out interesting stuff that we're trying to figure out. Maybe you should check this out. And it was more directly connected to the game.
Yeah, those
Rather
videos
than-
were a great proof of concept for the game in general.
Yeah, totally.
They were fantastic. So, everybody knows what we've been up to for the past 2 months. 60 fucking days. God, I'm an ass for missing the last month. But, is everybody ready with a drink to open for the ceremonial opening of drinks?
No.
Anyone?
Somewhat-
No.
Anyone
I-
ready? I'm ready. There are
I'm sorry,
at
I've been
least 2
drinking this
people
whole
ready.
time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I want to hear a popping sound for opening of beverages.
I can cheers.
That works for me. Ah, there's some things. Yeah, I got one. That was like 2 in
That
1.
was a satisfying sound.
Yeah.
I
it was good.
really love this size of beverage because it has a cork in it. Anyways,
Is it
so
a bottle of champagne, cheap champagne? That's what
no,
I'm picturing you drinking.
it's a bottle of brandy, which is a very fancy gentlemanly drink to drink.
Yes, not cheap fish wine or anything like
I
that.
don't drink no cheap fish wine. Fuck that. So after the break, we will go into host topics. And until then, you better have your own fucking drink to drink. Or we'll be pissed here at 80 Proof Podcast. /train.
I thought that was like some music you were starting.
I should have, but no. There is literally a train happening right now. It is that perfect. See you in a bit.